Factsverse presents. 5 weeks after a student went missing, surveillance footage led police to a disturbing discovery. When Mollie Tibbetts was in elementary school, her parents split up. She stayed with her mother, Laura Calderwood, and the two moved to Brooklyn, Iowa. She fit in at her new school very quickly. She was popular and upbeat. She joined the school choir, the drama club, and enjoyed public speaking. In her spare time, she loved to run, and she dreamed of becoming a psychologist one day. After graduating from high school, Mollie attended the University of Iowa. She was studying to be a doctor in psychology, and she planned to write a book on the subject one day. The summer after she completed her freshman year, she went home. Even though it was summer, she didn't stop working, and she took summer classes during the break. Mollie was very serious about achieving her dream. Mollie got a summer job at Grinnell Day Camp, which is a day camp that's attached to a medical center in nearby Grinnell. It was her second summer working there, and she spent her days working with kids. The day camp invited her back for a second year because she was so good with the kids the year before. When Mollie was 20 years old, she had a boyfriend named Dalton Jack. He was a construction worker who shared a home with his brother. Everyone said that Mollie and Dalton made a great couple. Her father, Rob Tibbetts, remembers on Valentine's Day when Dalton took Mollie to Iowa City for dinner. He couldn't believe that Dalton drove all that way just to take her to a romantic dinner. His job was taking him to Dubuque, Iowa, which was about 100 miles from Brooklyn. While he was out of town, Mollie agreed to watch his dogs for him. While Dalton was away for work, Mollie stuck to her regular routine of jogging around the city each evening. She put on a pair of dark shorts, a pink tank top, and a pair of running shoes. The streets of Brooklyn were well lit, so Mollie never had to worry. A man named Devin Riley saw her at least 3 to 4 times per week jogging by his home. She often jogged down his street and up a hill. He never thought much about it until he heard about a missing girl, and then it hit him that he hadn't seen Mollie running in a few days. Well, he began to wonder if maybe she was the missing girl. While Dalton was away, he sent Mollie a text message to wish her good morning. When she didn't respond, she thought it was a bit strange. Later that day, Mollie's boss at Grinnell Day Camp called him. They told him that Mollie never showed up for work and she never called to let them know that she wasn't coming. That was very unlike Mollie because she was very responsible and she took her job seriously. Dalton told them that he had no idea where she was. Nobody in Mollie's family knew where she could have gone. Dalton's brother Blake told Mollie's family that there was no sign of a struggle in their home. And what worried everyone even more was that her Fitbit and her phone were missing, and that caused them to assume that Mollie went missing during her run. Her family and friends were frantic with worry, and they called the police. Volunteers in Mollie's town began searching for her, and they put up missing posters hoping that somebody had seen her. Within a few days, the FBI and other investigators from the state got involved. They asked that the volunteers stop looking, and they began an investigation into her disappearance. Her family and friends couldn't just sit by waiting, though, so they had posters, T-shirts, buttons, and magnets made with her face on them. They even went to the state fair to hand out the materials hoping somebody had information about her whereabouts. A website was set up, and there was a $40,000 reward for information on her location. The police followed a lead to a man named Wayne Cheney who owned a hog farm. Wayne had a previous record of stalking, so they wanted to speak to him. They even held his phone for a while, but nothing came from this lead. They still had no idea what had happened to Mollie. Investigators found footage from a camera that pointed to the street. It captured images of Mollie running by and a dark car in the area. It was a black Chevy Malibu that belonged to Cristian Bahina Rivera. The police brought him in, and after interrogating him, he led them to a cornfield where they found her body. The autopsy showed that she was stabbed to death. He was arrested for first-degree murder, which, if convicted, he will spend the rest of his life in prison. Mollie's family and friends were, of course, devastated. Christian saw Mollie running, and he stopped the car and started running with her. She threatened to call the police if he didn't leave her alone, and then he claimed that his mind went blank. He says that when he came to, he was pulling her bloody, lifeless body out of his trunk. His trial is going to begin in September of 2019, and Mollie's grieving family and friends plan to be there so that they can be her voice. Her dreams will never come true. She will never marry. She will never have children. Her life was cut short due to this man, and her family and friends won't rest until he is put behind bars forever. Subscribe for more.